So basically, this is a visual novel called May Sky, and I'm basically gonna play it. I've never played this game before, so yeah, let's go ahead and let's play it, shall we? So I heard a piano. Its notes resounded in the May sky. May. The days marked by scattered cherry blossoms were long past. The days scorched by the blazing summer sun were yet to come. May was in between. May was uncertain of itself. May was ambiguous and beguiling. The gentle sunlight whispers its warmth onto my skin, soothing and inviting like a lullaby. The air was beguiling to take on the faintest hint of moisture. The rainy season was close by, waiting. May. A month that arrives whether you wanted to or not, just by walking a few blocks from the beginning. A month where everything's still new, everything's still settling in. A month that only wishes it knew what it's in store. A month that sees the rest of the year spread out before its very eyes, for better or for worse. A month only a little after the beginning, with the end still a long ways off. A strange, confusing, beguiling time. Under the skies of this season, a piano was singing a song. Now I basically just wait until more text appears. May sky. And wait a little bit more for more text to appear for the story to go on. So, okay. Chapter 1, Mayday, An Idiot's Guide to Weathering the Freshman Blues Through Mismatched Pairs. Which pairs? I don't know. Could be talking about the food. No. Alright, so May 1st, where the game starts. I don't know what year, though, so please don't ask. Let's see. The 1st of May, Sunday, 4 p.m. My 9x12 single was on the 5th floor of an apartment complex. Yep. Some shirts were hung up on the walls, other things lined my shoebox apartment. A great picture of a bachelor pad for a young person, a fountain chair, wrapped in his name is Haruki. He's 22 years old. He's new at a corporate job. Sorry if text is going by fast. I pre-recorded the actual gameplay. This is a separate recording. He doesn't really think the fact that any deep or special meaning. Basically just don't call him lonely or anything. You can kind of read this along too if you want to. He was just wanted to say that he was home, because he's used to doing that. Basically says it's weird that he used to say that. There's nothing that he wants to do. He looked around and noticed his video game console. He doesn't mention what it is, though. When he was a student, this was it. It was all he did on vacation. He hardly flipped it on the switch since he moved it here with him. It says the circuits were nearly burning out, too cold and neglected. How his most prized possession was a useless heap of silicone and plastic. Poor guy. But if he goes out, he's going to end up wasting money. Even though he'd been working at the company for a month, they hadn't actually given him a paycheck yet. All companies did this sort of thing. He'd get April's pay and his May salary. When he moved out, his parents had been generous. Still, he was trying to keep his expenses down to a minimum. Of course, he did not like living on bread and water, but he had no disposable income to speak of. It says, what an amazing place to find myself stuck in. That's right, between a rock and a hard place. He stared at the ceiling without really seeing it. Said the sunset filtered in, painting his room pale sepia. The only sounds available were faint whispers from outside and the tick-tock of his watch. Idle hands of the devil's plaything. A tenant which by all Jap pen ran by, apparently. Sort of things he got told on field trips as a student. There was no chaperones right now to harass him, so he could hear those words haunting his room. This poor guy's having a really hell of a time. So, in the end, after he bummed around for 5 minutes or so, he decided that the interior of his fridge was looking really empty and lonely, so basically he decided to get out of his apartment and go shop, get some stuff for his chicken. He wasn't depressed or anything, but he let out a deep sigh anyways. 5 floors up the street, he could see the town yawning in the evening night. It was a lonely feeling. He walked stiffly down the stairwell. The echoes of his steps were only the sound of the complex. The The instant he stepped outside, he was greeted by a strong yet tender breeze. The sky was red all over, like it had been dipped in scarlet dye. It was a sight for sore eyes. It was so striking someone could oblivious as him could say that it was beautiful. Here and there was a path to the train station. He saw salarymen returning from work on a Sunday, and housewives who lived around here. They spread around the gossip. Says nothing around the ordinary. He walked or slipped to the scene, and basically he just became invisible. What is he going to make today? He wonders what he might have a bit of food left. He walked along thinking what was on the menu for today and the rest of the week for him to eat. He had never dealt with his considerations. 1 month living alone, he just became, used to it, I guess. There's some little trees along the road, as fresh as May itself. He's basically just checking out the scenery. I know I'm not really reading what he's saying, but you can always feel free to pause the video anytime and read what he's saying. And it was basically dusk. He was getting this cheerful, lighthearted vibe, and all of that. And then, meandering softly through the streets and they're all too familiar, basically, he's hearing a piano coming from somewhere, and he doesn't know where. He just started to hear someone playing a piano somewhere. So there was no really reason what he did next. He focused on the music, stopped walking, he figured out where it was coming from, and then he went in a general direction. So he's basically going to go find the source of said music, because that's basically what he's going to do now. And he's just going to take a quick little break from going to go shopping, sort of say, He's why don't you go find the source of the music, guy, huh? You might as well. You got nothing else to do. I mean, we're gonna go shopping and figure out what you were gonna, buy. I was wondering what kind of like how much chicken does he have? For like sandwiches, or he'd probably go make like some curry or grab some rice. I don't know. Maybe he's got a microwave in his apartment and whatnot. But basically, he's walking along the road, and he's trying to figure out where this is at. So basically, he comes upon a Shinto temple / shrine, and there's some buildings and all that. And he said it was a small, beautifully kept structure. He didn't look as old as he had thought expected to be. And there is a single tree, and everything looks pretty nice and pristine, I guess. You can see the lines in the dirt where these kids drew with their sticks where someone had tire marks on my bicycle. There's a ritual stone basins where you're supposed to wash your hands before you could properly visit a shrine, which is a thing in Japan. You can always Google that in case you're wondering if you're not familiar with how they do things around temples in Japan, or shrines. Basically, he is hearing the music, and no, he's basically just saying that the Shinto shrines and piano music don't go together. And basically, he is hearing the music within, and he thought it was a recording, but he realized that actually someone is inside of this shrine at this time of the day, and they're playing a piano. And he basically is climbing the steps in between those two pillars there, and he is peeking through the slats of a lattice door. And there happens to be a girl sitting with her eyes closed, playing the piano all by herself. And he's just mentioning that there's this huge freaking piano right in the middle of the auditory room, where you do your like prayers and stuff inside of the shrine building itself. And he's looking at this girl here, and obviously she's got her eyes closed, and she doesn't realize and notice that someone's watching her. And she seems to be of high school age, and says her lips were blurred with a faint smile. She was decked out in full-blown shrine maiden out, like, out of the outfit, which is what people wear when they're, working at shrines in Japan. Again, you could always Google that in case you're watching this video and you're unfamiliar with that stuff. They wear these outfits over there in the shrines and stuff. Basically, everything was beautiful that he was saying here. That he's wondering if the lattice door wasn't a gateway to a whole other dimension. I don't think so, dude, but she was basically almost towards the end of her song, and he's basically trying to leave now. So basically he's walking down the step, but then he realized that he might be potentially tossing away something, really good here. So basically he says, no, I'm not going to leave. I'm gonna sit my ass down, and I'm going to listen to the rest of her song here. And, yep. Now he says, time to go. Yep. But no, yep, he just sat down, like I said, and, he's there. I mean, if you could see that he's sitting there on those steps, hey, let me know, because I can't see it. It must be completely invisible, And, I guess she played 5 songs. He'd been sitting there long enough to hear them all. He really must be bored. This guy basically is bored a lot. He moved to this area and he has no friends and all of that. So basically the 5th song ended and he heard the scraping of a chair. So this girl was getting ready to leave the shrine. And she was going to walk out and see him. And he thought he was going to leave, but he just didn't leave. So she ends up coming out. This part here kind of glitched. I don't know why. I don't know why you can't see the upper half of her body. I don't know. It was weird though. And well, you'll get to see her here in a few seconds, like her face and all. There you go. She's surprised basically that this dude was sitting here, and he ended up listening to music. He told her that it was beautifully played. He didn't really know a thing about like what's good music, what's bad music. She's thanking him, and yeah, basically she's leaving and she's walking home with the Shrine Maiden outfit on, and I guess so. He said he couldn't miss her in a crowd. He replayed a mental image of that. He said, nope, that's totally wrong. He smiled weakly at her in farewell. The moment she disappeared from sight, all he could hear was basically silence. He should get going too. He leapt to his feet. Basically, yeah. He went to his original goal of food shopping, which he should have done to begin with. It says the sky was hovering at the edge between twilight and darkness, a slight chill hung in the air. One little concert, one brief meeting, no more no less. He didn't know at all. Well, yeah. Yep. Basically, he's just saying, their existence that happened to everyone everywhere is an ordinary occurrence made of ordinary stuff. What usually happens, a few days pass, other things occupy you, and then basically, poof, you've forgotten that it all happened. You're just like, now, what was that again? What happened? Man, I can't remember. I don't know that saying there that he mentioned about the journey is 1,000 footsteps, whatever. So now it's May 3rd. Full day is skipped, and back in his apartment. I'm going to save real quick, of course. I had saved a lot. So it was the 3rd around 1 p.m. Basically, it's now Golden Week. basically, what Golden Week is a week-long holiday starting from the end of April to the first week of May. Every year in Japan, people go out, celebrate, have days off, stuff like that. If you want to know more about that, just Google Golden Week, and then you can, read about it yourself and stuff if you want to. And that's all I want to talk about for Golden Week. I guess that's the first getting mentioned here on my channel. He's saying maybe he should start a hobby. He's got the TV on. He's not really paying attention. He was this unmotivated, but I guess he's unmotivated. There's weight inside him daily that basically sucked out his desires, everything, his motivations, energy. Yeah, this dude's having a real hell of a time, to be honest. Nothing got into him or to him. He barely had just enough function to function every day. He started his job with excitement, and basically he just kind of felt like, man, he said that he's feeling like he's being eroded away. So, yep, like I said, he's still having a rough time here. And he says must be freshman blues. He only thought it happened to corporate people, salarymen, boring fools, ordinary people, but to his surprise, it basically happened to him. And he never thought it would happen, he's talking about something about a mini boss that you had to defeat on your way to full-fledged adulthood. Yeah, basically, he didn't have to worry about having a meaningful life. He could figure out how to have a meaningful day. He says better start with that to figure out how to have a meaningful day instead of having a meaningful life. Start small, I guess. He was trying to figure out how having an actual meaningful day concept. He looked at the TV. It was basically airing a program of historic shrines and temples of Kyoto, Japan. It says the announcer was chatting about history, priceless treasures, beautiful moments, something, which was a shrine. So basically they switched to show a shrine in this TV program that he's watching. And he's basically thinking about the place that he went to on May 1st here in the game. And basically he just started to make himself look decent before going outside. And basically he's turning off the TV, he's getting ready to, go out, do something for the afternoon, instead of just being stuck in his apartment building or apartment room. And then he basically said that piano music kind of goes with Shinto shrines, and he's back at the shrine that he was here at the other day. And it's basically how he remembered it from 2 days ago. And neighborhood kids are playing dodgeball in the area. I guess. I don't know who's winning though. And it says, he's basically just talking about how things look now. And the girl is playing the piano music once more, and he is gonna look through the lattice doors, and he says, yep, same girl playing the exact same piano as she did. So, imagine that. He sat down on the spot that he picked out yesterday, on the stone steps in front of the doors. It says it kind of sounds strange. A shrine, a sanctuary, priestess girl, piano being played. I said girl. He's basically thinking that it's all bizarre. Because it's something that you don't see. Or wouldn't imagine to possibly see in a shrine. And it was on Golden Week. He's basically asking himself, why did this girl pick all the possible times to play the piano in the year? I guess because nobody's there. I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't know about you guys. Basically, he just wondered these things. Does music continued to play. His sunlight was gentle. Basically, he's falling asleep because he's enjoying the music, and it's putting him to sleep like a lullaby. And yep, he's just basically saying how wrong it is, how there's a piano, a girl's inside playing it in the shrine, and to him it's just all wrong. It doesn't make sense. And something was shaking him, and he basically opened his eyes, and it was a piano girl. She's asking him, is he awake? And basically he says he passed out for 2 hours, and basically he's just trying to wake up. And she was asking him if he was here yesterday, and she doesn't seem sure about it herself, if he was there or not yesterday, which, you know. So she basically thought she'd wake him up, seemed to be dark soon, and she said goodbye. And she bowed, she went off, just like that. He realized that he was sitting alone, it's getting cold, there were no one else around, and he is pitiful. He might as well get going himself, as he should. He stretched, went his way home, all the while, thinking about it. Yep, and it says the evening sky was losing its sun to the horizon. Now, it looked awful lonely. So basically now it's May 4th, and this is where I'm going to end the video. If you, of course, enjoyed this video and would like to see more of it, that would be okay. Maybe a let's play, I don't know right now. I would like to say please share the video, please subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the video to your social medias and all of that, and I will, of course, see you next time.